chaotic right now.
Is it chaotic neutral or chaotic evil?
Chaotic neutral. So they are doing painting in the studio. By the way, I am live partially here. I'm getting it live. Hello, everyone. I'll be
Hello,
going in
chat.
just a second. Yeah, they're doing a whole bunch of like painting, and they're doing like carpet work, and they're just doing all sorts of stuff here. So it's been chaotic.
I'm disappointed that you're not wearing a nerdy shirt for us today.
That's true. It's almost like I need to do laundry.
That sounds like a personal problem, Jared.
It is. But yeah, I don't know if I could actually turn this camera around here a second. You can take a look. See, it's just, I mean, we got posters and paintings and stuff all over the place because they were painting the walls, which looked nice, to be fair. They've done a very nice job on it, but you can just see how they had to take everything off the walls all over the place.
Oh no, the broccoli is down.
Yeah, the broccoli's down, not just in the studio here, but really throughout the entire office. We've just been in this noisy bit of chaos. They've had things beeping and backing up and jackhammers and saws and you name all sorts of stuff. Long term, it's going to be nice because they really are improving the space here. But holy moly, on top of trying to get update 23 on the LOTRO side and some DDO work and everything, we are just it is just a chaotic scene in SSG this week. So
the chaotic neutral office today.
Yeah. All right, let me make sure I'm going live. I still don't see me live on Facebook. Let me see if I can.
I see you on Twitch.
I had to re-authenticate on Facebook today and it doesn't seem to want to go. Let me try this again. Now, we should be good. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LOTROstream, youtube.com/LordofTheRings/live, and facebook.com/LOTRO. I am LOTRO's community manager, Cordovan, rolling into the Fridays with a lot of busyness going on. Druid's Fire is with me. Hello, Druid's Fire. It's nice to see you here.
Hi.
I understand you have a little bit of a cold today, so we'll have to excuse
I'm blaming
you.
Agent Brigman.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's computer viruses. That's how that happens.
I actually have a little bit of a cold myself here, but so first off, well, actually, I guess I've got a whole bunch to talk about here. But so first off here, I will not be here next Friday. I am taking some personal time off to go camping with my son.
Oh,
so
tell Jeffrey I said hi.
Yeah, it is going to be his birthday that weekend, and so I'm going to be taking him out and all that sort of thing. So I will not be here next Friday. I'll be back the Friday afterwards. So no Court of the Rings next week. But it should be.
You'll have Druid of the Rings, you poor souls.
Okay, the other piece is, yes, we are aware that the chat servers are having problems on the live game worlds right now. We're working to mitigate that. Just as I was walking into the studio here, I was told that perhaps it might be resolved, but they're still doing some work on it and checking to make sure, so I'm not really in a position right now to confirm that it is fixed. But we are working on it, basically full-time here, so hopefully it'll get resolved. If it isn't already. It looks like Gwei here chat is also back down, but the others are currently up. So anyway, yeah, so we're working on that, and I apologize for the inconvenience there. I can't really get into what's causing it, but we're working on it. The other piece is that we had a bull roar prop yesterday. Our fifth bull roar prop of update 23 that included some balance work. So if you've been following the update 23 bull roar release notes, you'll know that there's a bunch of kind of ratings and balance changes that top out the notes there at the start. And some of that work had actually not gotten merged into the build. So that was the purpose of yesterday's bull roar prop, is we were like, oh, crap, I guess we need to merge those things and make sure everything is working well, right? So we did that, and we've gotten some pretty immediate feedback from the community that we need to do some more balance work because of the state of things right now, particularly on the end game. Perhaps a bit too easy, frankly, too easy right now for the update 23 stuff up to level 120. So we're actually going to have a meeting this afternoon to figure out, what are some possible solutions, what are we going to do, that sort of thing. There's still a pretty good chance that update 23 will release next week, but we'll know more about that after we have some meetings here today. If necessary, we'll just, push update 23 back just long enough to do this kind of work that we need to do, and then we'll release it. Maybe with another bull roar. We'll see. But so stay tuned. Leaving the office yesterday, if I was to make a statement yesterday afternoon, it would have been update 23 arrives next week. But now I'm not so sure on that. So I think we're just going to kind of have to stay tuned. But there's a pretty good chance it'll be next week, nonetheless, because that work should be able to get done in a relatively quick amount of time. It's just you still then have to do the build process and QA process and get the release candidate propped up and all that sort of thing. So we shall see. The other piece is Harnkegger Games. This week I have been broadcasting the Harnkegger Games live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's been in the mid-afternoons, and this is taking place on Laurelin, and it's been a really fun time. I'm going to be doing it this weekend as well. So Saturday and Sunday afternoon, including Sunday afternoon for the big finale, you can tune in to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, I think. So the difference is, on Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be doing it from home, so we'll see how my bandwidth is, but if my bandwidth can take it, I'm going to stream to all three. If I have to cut down, YouTube's going first. Sorry, YouTubers, you guys are the smallest community. And then Facebook. And I should at least be able to stream to Twitch. So that'll be what's going on this weekend with the Harnkegger Games. My ISP recently increased my bandwidth for free. So hopefully that should make a difference. But we shall see. All right.
I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, that's right. You were in control of the internet knobs. Actually,
you're not in my area of responsibility, but yeah. We've been doing that all over the country.
Yeah, it's the same basic thing where they upped me to 100 megabytes in download speed. They haven't said whether it affects the upload speed, but I have to assume at least a little bit.
No, it won't.
No? Okay, well...
if you were on 100 by 10, you'll be at 200 by 10.
Well, no, I was on like 30 by 10, and now I'm up to 100 by 10.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Yep. I live in not the country, but a slightly less populated area of Massachusetts.
I know where you live.
It's kind of an older... They have lesser infrastructure than you might see, say, in the core of Boston or what have you. At least not like when I was living down in Georgia, and they were still having copper cabling into the house. Fastest internet I could get was DSL. Yes, I'm not even kidding you. Yep. All right, so what else should I mention here? We do have the beacon out, and we got some really neat contests going on. The French D&D Committee are working on a few more contests. We also have a screenshot contest happening on the forums and some other cool things as well. So one of the things that came up during the Harnkegger Games is that there were a whole bunch of people who were kind of hounded me in chat to answer their Update 23 and other questions. And I deliberately said, yo, let's hang off on that stuff, because I wanted to focus on the player event. I didn't want to make or create a scenario where people who were not interested in the Harn Kicker games felt the need to watch the whole thing just in case I answered a question that was relevant to their interests. So despite it kind of upsetting some folks in chat over the last couple of days, particularly some of our PvMP folks who recently had cause to let us know about a thing, I had to be like, all right, hang off till Friday. Well, guess what? It's Friday. So let me hit me with your questions. If I can answer it, I will be happy to. If I can't, I will let you know. On that PvMP thing, there was a change to eye gouge that had been intended for Update 23, and this was to prevent, even though the forums are saying it doesn't exist, it exists. There's an exploit going on with that particular skill, so we had upped the cooldown on it, but people, the creep side became concerned enough that they sort of rallied the troops, as it were, and let us know that this was not an acceptable change. So yesterday afternoon, we actually pulled that change from Update 23, and we're going to take a more comprehensive, hopefully, and holistic look at it before we go live with something. So in the meantime, yeah, the exploit's just going to have to keep happening, but, we'll be working on it. So although we did pull this from Update 23, you can expect some kind of work to be done on eye gouge because it has to be in the relatively near future here. Also, hello everyone over on Facebook. I am not muted. I almost got muted, and then I didn't do it. Yep. Below freezing last night, Sam. It's been getting coldish here as well, but so far we've avoided being cold. Buffed the Noob says, where do I apply as a GM? So we utilize Daybreak Games Company's human resources. Frankly, it means we don't have to hire a couple of people, and it makes a lot of sense. So the careers page for any SSG positions is daybreakgames.com/careers. And if we have any GM openings, that would be where they would be posted. You need acorn-like summons for Bjornings, but they are honeycombs. Yes. I agree. So am I not on next Wednesday either for the DDO side? No, I will be. I'm leaving on Thursday. So I'll be able to be there for next Wednesday's show, just not Fridays. Losing chat in the middle of a concert, always bad. Mm-hmm. Yep, we're working on it. What will be the price of the new update? How many LOTRO points? I can't say. You're going to have to wait for our e-commerce team to announce that. That over easy mode is also affecting PvMP. Have I read the Bullroarer forum post today about creeps? Yes, I have. And yes, you are correct. I mean, any kind of mob balance for the PvE game is probably going to have some unintended impact on the creep side. That's just the reality of the situation. So, yes, you are correct. And that is something we will be looking at. The harsh reality is that I think what we will be doing balance-wise will be to try to get the PvE environment in a much stronger place. And that, by its sympathetic nature, should also improve things on the creep side. What do you donate to get the Yule Bear Pet? So, yeah, good point. I am going to be launching my Extra Life campaign in October. I am so busy right now. It is just not even funny. I have not had a night off in like 19 days. It's gonna. I am booked literally every night through at least October 18th. So it's busy times in Cordland. But I am going to be doing Extra Life this year, and I will be announcing that probably not next week, but maybe the week afterwards. So it's going to be a little late, but yeah, I'm doing the best I can, folks. So we'll be working on that. JFD Kamara, you had dreamed you were in my office. I said LOTRO was firing people, and I was one of them saying this very sadly, lol. So, first off, hopefully that was a dream and not a prophecy. Two, I don't have an office. It's a cubicle situation where I work collaboratively with people around me. Three, of course, we're actually in very good shape employment-wise here. Is work going on in regard to the chat filter? Is this dwarf, Darnolf, got gagged during a concert? Yes, we are intending to further expand it out a bit for Update 23. So we're going to loosen those restrictions a little bit in Update 23, so hopefully it won't be an issue. Haderb, I would argue, it basically is saying, you know, we're loving the freeps and hating the creeps. No, that's not true. I do think you are correct that the reality is we have not had time nor particular... We have not had time to really do a lot of PvMP work outside of the work that Vastin did earlier this year. And so that is the reality of the situation. I have said, and it is true, that we are doing a lot of classwork right now, and that is going to impact the Freep side of things. And it doesn't necessarily do a lot of good to try to hit whack-a-mole with the creep side while we have a moving target on the Freep side. But it is not true that we hate creeps or anything, and we are hoping to be able to get to that work when we can. So I don't think I think the reality is we will probably rarely be working on PvMP as often as some folks in the PvMP community would want us to, but hopefully we can get some work done here that will make things better for you. For clarity, what happens to people's existing sturdy steel keys come the changes in Update 23? Nothing. In terms of the ones that are in your inventory, they will be able to be used. Let me think about that. You're going to be able to use it. That much is for sure. And we are ultimately phasing them out in exchange for a one-key solution where the black steel keys are the one key to rule them all. So sturdy steel keys are going to be deprecated. In most cases where you previously earned sturdy steel keys, you'll be getting motes, but that's a process that we're going to be working on over the next couple of point updates and things like that. So there will still be some cases where you're getting sturdy steel keys when Update 23 is released. The sturdy steel keys, from what I understand, will be able to continue to open the boxes you have, and I think they will be good for the non-level cap loot box, but let me double check with the systems team to make sure on that. Nonetheless, you'll be able to open stuff. Where you were getting them, you'll get motes, and we're not going to put you in a situation where your sturdy steel keys are suddenly useless. Question, does GM get paid for their service to the community? Yes. We do pay our customer service people, which is what the in-game game masters are umbrella of. It's a full-time gig. Is it intentional that Gorgoroth Steelbound loot boxes have a maximum usage level of 115 on Bullroarer? I believe the answer to that... I don't know, actually, on the answer to that. I'm going to write that down. And I know they're not supposed to drop above 115. I think that they're not supposed to drop at all at this point. But in terms of not being able to use them, if you are above level 115, that sounds a little strange to me. So I will follow up on that. Are the changes to the Shire and the current Bull Roarer only experimental, or are we planning to push this live with the next update? It will be going live with the next update. We're doing some work on the Shire and elsewhere that you've seen in the last couple of updates as well. Hello, Gusty Moose. Nice to see you here. Our captain's damage problems being addressed in U-23. Depends what you mean, but I think the answer is probably no, although the weapon swap issue is being fixed. But I don't know if that's what you mean by damage problems. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Squirrel. I mean, for sure, the current price on Bull Roarer is not the final price for the adventure pack. That is almost never going to be. And it is going to be more in line with content of similar sizes, I would think. Scaled Freeps are entering the moors and hitting the creeps for 300,000 morale. Any plans on buffing creeps before the update? No. But we are doing some balance work that will probably affect creep side before the update. Where is your violin? I don't know. It's a good question. Where is it? It's in its case. Is there a date set for U23? Yes-ish. That date was a lot more set in stone yesterday than it is today, so I kind of don't want to say it right now.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah. Will the Eagle Pet ever be available outside of the Mordor expansion? I do not think so. I think it's Eagle Kite Pet. I'm pretty sure that's going to be tied to that particular bundle long term. Well, we have a stream with the devs in the launch of U23. Frankly, they are so busy right now, we just do not have time. I cannot guarantee that we will do that. I will say this, though. There are a couple of videos in the works that hopefully will be much better received than the Mordor one, and should be released, pretty soon here with Update 23 as well. So, are you planning on more housing in the future? Yes. Oh, server restart in 40 minutes. Is that true? Might well be because of this stuff going on. When is the new level cap coming out? The new level cap is coming out with Update 23. I don't know about the Ironfold ingots question. Sorry, I'd hear Ad Frinthen. Yeah, sorry, Buff the Noob. I've got nothing to mention at this time. Basically, someone that wants to do like a classic Orthanc server. Nothing really to say about that. I did read that player suggestion this week. We shall never speak of those Mordor videos again. I didn't actually hate him as much as everyone else did, but sure. Okay, yes, so we are going to be bouncing Arkenstone at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Bouncing Arkenstone at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Will Bjorn get a DPS boost before the update? No, it will not be before the update. Ponton has a question about naming issues on the forum. Some names are good, but the filter seems to say otherwise and won't accept it. That's the reality of sort of a chat filter that evolves over time, as things that were allowed in the past may not be allowed today. But if we have a specific example that you can get me, I can forward it along to our engineers. How long does a restart take? Probably not too long. If it's just a world restart like this, I'm 20, 30 minutes, maybe? We'll see. Less than an hour for sure. Well, less than an hour unless something really bad happens. So probably less than an hour. Yep. Is the cap on the mark of the Longbeards being revised? I have not heard of any plans to do that. Hi, Cordovan. Martin on Facebook says, I know a new class is not coming anytime soon, but already know we have laid the foundation stone for a new. I am talking about the Ranger class you can play in the Etten Moors. Yes, I do know you can play for a 1 hour. Still will need a ton of work before it can be outside of Etten Moors. That is not something we're actually intending to do. The talk I've heard is something a little bit different from that, but you know, we're probably looking at I don't even know when, maybe even up to a couple of years out before we really see anything new about that. Any news on the race change option hitting the store anytime soon? No. We will not be doing that I'm aware of. It'll involve some significant engineering work because we tie races to certain class options. So you can't just respec that out without also having basically a class respec in addition to it. Can I give a shout out to your hubby that is playing? His character name is Bira from Glory. Shout out. Oh, and happy 2-month anniversary there, Debbie, on Facebook. What is exactly going to happen to bound black keys that we have right now after the update? Nothing is going to happen to the bound black keys that you have right now after the update. You will still be able to use them. Will the cosmetic instrument display showing even if visibility is disabled when one is not playing it be finally fixed? Yes, I believe that is a change in Update 23 to fix that. You're down with Kilt's Druid's Fire? I don't know. Were there kilts in Middle-earth?
Well, there are a lot of mentions of kirtles, which are kind of like kilts, but not proper sculptures. Kilts with the pleats and a sporran and everything. I know, nice. I like kilts because I make them. You've seen me kilt, my yep. One inspired by the game?
Yep, absolutely. Uh-huh. There should be chest hair for those dwarves that like to fight half-nude and maybe a collection of diverse chest hair pieces. A chest hair slider, perhaps. If you put it up all the way, you're actually a short Bjorning. No, I'm kidding.
My brain went to the completely wrong place on that. I blame the cold meds.
I know, sorry. How much will Cord make us donate to charity for him to wear a kilt on stream? Oh, God. Way too much.
I will make you that kilt. I will make you a kilt.
I am not wearing a kilt on the stream.
Let's do it. We're gonna make Cord a kilt. I only need 2 measurements to make a kilt for you, dude.
The question is not how much would it take, is how much therapy would you need afterwards? The answer to that is a lot.
Pockets for dice.
Okay. You do have me at dice. I do like dice.
I could make you a nerdy D&D related kilt. Yeah, that could happen.
I don't know. If someone is serious about that, I can make it figured out. So, you know, there is going to have to be one change about Extra Life this year that I kind of didn't want to do because I'm afraid it's going to dramatically impact giving, but I have to do it given the reality of my world nowadays. And that is, I am not going to have a Meet Cordovan in-game tier for this year's Extra Life, and I apologize for that. But the reality is, I dropped the ball on it this year because I just did not have time. I barely got it done the year prior because I just did not have time. And right now, I just do not have time. Last year, I ended up with something like, theoretically, 24 weekends that I had to meet with people for Extra Life stuff, and I do not have 24 weekends free. So I'm going to have to pull that this year from an Extra Life tier. And that was kind of the higher tier option for Extra Life. So hopefully people will still be willing to donate. I mean, God, I'm not that important, but it was something I had to think hard on because I was like, oh, can I do it? But I just can't. I mean, the reality is I just can't, you know. Even if I theoretically took money for it, I wouldn't be able to deliver. So that's really what the impetus on making that change this year is. Okay, I'm in an instance, prisoner of Samuth the Ball. Am I basically going to be...
You're on your own. This is Session Play.
Fast attacks, 2 cut, creeping swing, cover from being knocked down.
Just mash the buttons, dude.
Interrupt attacks. I'm just seeing if I have any healing or anything. No, I don't. Okay. So the other piece, though, Bree, is like ideally it'd be like, yeah, we just do new exclusive pets, mounts, and titles. Except that there's no way we can release update 23 and get that done. You can't just sort of make it in an hour, right? That stuff takes. That would be several days of development time that we just don't have. So I don't know. I'm sorry to say. Slimy. It's like the game Splatterhouse. You remember that game from the late 80s, early 90s in the arcades?
Are you asking am I old? Yeah, Jerry, I remember that game.
Ah, House of the Dead. That was a newer one. Yep. But speaking of House of the Dead, I picked up a CRT television this week because, you know, only the most modern stuff for me. And I'm looking forward to bringing out the light gun games again.
Ooh, yeah. Nice.
Because, you know, most, if not all, light guns don't work on modern, like, LED TVs.
Yep, I knew that. I'm playing some old games myself. I kickstarted the Miss 25th anniversary thing, so nice. I got all those in my Steam. Yeah.
Was it just like regular versions, or is it kind of like
they remastered them so you can play them on Windows 10 now, without like having to, you know, juggle and finagle and stuff. So it's just like lock and load.
Is it just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
All of them.
Like even the MMO one?
Yes. Well, no, not the MMO. But the fact that there was Miss MMO actually is how I managed to interview the creator of Miss last year at PAX. It was so cool.
Okay, why? Oh, not enough power. That's why. Okay.
Need more power! More dots, more dots.
Yes, your son wants a CRT so we can play Duck Hunt on the NES. That is really the path that led me down to getting this done as well. Here's my suggestion, Bree True Love. Keep an eye out for Craigslist, right? Because a lot of people have old CRTs that they want to get rid of, but they can't because nobody wants to take them. You can't throw them away in the trash, and you have to pay money at like a electronics recycling center or something like that to get rid of it. So nobody wants to pay to get rid of their old TVs. Plus they're big and bulky and a pain in the butt. But for us classic gamers, they're also pretty valuable. So I would recommend that you take a look at Craigslist and FreeCycle in particular, and you will probably see some folks being like, I've got this gigantic, massive, heavy 40-inch TV thing that I can't get rid of. Please haul it away for me. And you can have it. I'd recommend not...
It's funny that you mentioned Duck Hunt.
Yeah, exactly right. I recommend not going for the big, like, 40-inch one. Find a good, like, 17, 19-inch. It's small enough that it isn't, like, taking up the back of a pickup truck, but it's, you don't need a forklift to lift it up. But it's big enough that it's good for, like, gaming. I found a free Samsung 19-inch that is perfect. That was free, completely free, so...
Now, you want to know why it was funny that you mentioned Duck Hunt?
Oh, it's because of the tweet thing?
No, you remember that dude we ran into at the pizza joint at PAX or Gen Con last year?
Yeah, I think so.
That friend of mine? Yeah, he is in an industrial band called the Gossicles, and they have a song called Why Can't I Shoot the Dog?
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On Twitter recently, what's his name? Tweet is like, blow your mind. Did you know that the second controller would play, you could steer the duck in Duck Hunt? And people were like, what? And I was like, didn't you read the manual? It's right there in the manual. But no. Apparently people did not read the NES manual.
People read, what? Read manuals? No, Jerry, come on. You expect too much.
Yeah, I know, Sam. That's funny about Splatterhouse. It was totally just like a... Morven. Is Morven back up the stairs, do you know, by any chance? Or is he through the door here?
I think she... Well, I thought she was through the door.
Says it has been used too recently, so I assume that's not correct.
Yeah, mine isn't either, so... Yay. Ladies and gentlemen in chat, can you please not be rude about what we're talking about? That'd be really awesome.
I did just spend 30 minutes just basically doing question after question after LOTRO question.
Yeah.
And I will be doing more, but I can't really go through this thing and splat things. And, keep an eye on
What, you can't multitask? You're not allowed to? What?
I will try. I will get back to it in just a second here. Okay, wait, so where is that dude? Okay, maybe I am going the wrong way. But why did the door say it was used too recently?
Because you clicked on it. I backtracked all the way back to the beginning and found her.
Oh, yep, here we go. Okay, cool. Me too. Awake sleeping guards. All right, so let me take a crack at questions here. Oh, thank you, Amanda. And it was super fun meeting the kinships in game, but it's just the reality. I just didn't have time. Will moats be used pre-Mordor? Correct. So the way it's going to be is moats are everything outside of level cap, and embers are essentially level cap. So the moats vendors will be used for a whole bunch of different things that you used to get from loot boxes and such. Both the old, like, sturdy steel key loot boxes, in addition to some of the Mordor stuff that's not endgame. And then the embers will be used for an embers vendor that'll be sort of the new endgame hotness. Have I seen the fan-made LOTRO trailer on Reddit yet? I have not. Is that for update 23? That is interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. I remember seeing the ones that came out post-Mordor that were pretty nice. Rebelo, I don't know specifically about deed boosts in-game, or whether they'll be store-only. I'll have to double-check on that. I don't know. I should lower my character portrait below the LOTRO logo. Yeah, I probably should, you're right. I'll deal with that at some point here in the future. Is travel to premium houses in Kin Island supposed to have a 1-minute cooldown? Because ours is, for some reason, 1 hour. I believe it is 1 hour.
Kin houses for both, doesn't matter where your kin house is, it's always been an hour. But personal premium houses has always been a minute.
I kind of wish it was not an hour myself, but that's just the way it goes. Will Ultimate Edition Mordor ever get 75% off? Only way I'll get to the Eagle Kite and armor. I don't... Well, obviously I can't say. Maybe. What's a CRT? That's true. I am the old cathode ray tube. It's the old box TVs that used to... It's back in the day, television sets used to spew radiation into our eyes. Do Jeweler get a Hope Token recipe with the new update? We need it because now Westimnet is the only option. No, but I think I saw Friendly Hat mention that that is something in the works. Can I focus on LOTRO and not some 18th century game? Well, I don't know, man. Those video games from the 1700s were pretty rad.
Yeah, the RPGs are where you fight the founding fathers.
Yep. Can I talk a bit about the PvMP issues? Oh, God. Sometimes I feel like I could just sort of do nothing but talk about your PvMP issues. I've talked a lot about it already. I guess I'm not quite sure specifically what you want me to mention. We are pulling that one thing from yesterday, and we're aware of the balance, and we'll be working on that for update 23. And otherwise, it remains unchanged. Are we still doing the Figments of Splendor thing? Yes. Can I hint on some of the Bjorning rework? No. That's really just going to be up to the design team to do the work on that and then let me know sort of what their intentions are. Make it better is my hint. Is there a reason to hold back crafted essences for T12? No, it was not deliberately held back. It was just a matter of available resources, and that's something that we're hoping to do in the future for T12 as well, is to have crafted essences. It just we just didn't have time to get that done. Fix PvMP and the player base will go through the roof. Uh-huh.
I'm sure there's a magic wand for that somewhere. It's just like with a sprinkle of fairy dust, all of a sudden everything's fixed. I mean, yeah. I shouldn't be sarcastic about that.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm being rude. That's my bad.
The reality is we have a very passionate and relatively small PvMP community, and I think it's probably unlikely that even if we did find this mythical perfect balance on PvMP, that suddenly that percentage would change dramatically.
Yeah, you actually might want to start kicking the guys in the quest because it's gonna.
Oh, is it gonna kick me out and stuff?
No, nope. It's just you're not gonna have time to finish it before 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Professor Corey is coming.
You are motivating me for motivating Tarkrip poisoners. It's a whole bunch of motivation going on. So about the 64-bit client, we did make progress within the past month or so, and I talked a little bit about that, just so that we've made progress. There is some kind of internal 64-bit client that's getting some level of look-see, so hey, that's all real positive stuff. I don't really have anything to announce as to when or, other kinds of information you might want further on that. Stay tuned, but we are making progress on it, so that's the most important thing. Nothing will happen to the sturdy steel keys in your vault bags post-update. You will continue to use them. Is there a restart at 1 p.m.? Yes, for Arkenstone. And at least that's the last I heard. I am in the middle of a live stream here, so not on top of the email chain. You are absolutely correct, Sam, that I do indeed want an Atari version of LOTRO for the 2600. This is 100% fact. Am I ever going to play my flute on stream again? I don't know. I kind of...
Yes, do it.
I got really nervous when I was doing it last time. It's a little... I mean, I've played in front of churches and weddings and bands and stuff, but doing it in a game environment like this in front of a webcam was sort of a uncomfortable situation. I don't know. I don't know if I would do it again. Maybe.
You should do it, Jerry.
How much gold do I think the average subscriber has? Now, there is an actual answer to that question. I'm sure that if say the engineers did a data inquiry, they could actually find out what the average amount of gold in the community is. I'm going to say fairly high. Pretty much with any long-term MMO like this, the economy starts getting way up there as people play for many years, right? So about the best I could say is a lot. Ooh, Normaleth.
I do have to say that late Shadows of Angmar content is super good in terms of the story. Chris and Jeff did such a great job writing this.
Metallic Maniac over on YouTube. Well, hopefully we're looking at the solo version of the 6-person instance in Update 23. It's not what a solo version has looked like in terms of instances through questing. The dwarves are not so useful. We are going to be taking a look at some balance work. I don't know specifically how that relates to the solo version of it, though. I will just check out Reddit and just take a look at that player-made video. You don't need to hit me with a link in chat. I'm not sure if it'll allow you or not.
No, it'll time them out because Moobot's a jerk like that.
No, this is on YouTube, but I think I've got it set for no URLs on YouTube too for the same reason. The elf will die here. Nice. Yeah, that was very cool. What does a guy have to do to have a baby Balrog cosmetic pet available in the game? I think, lore-wise, that might be a difficult sell to Saul's Ants. But, you know. Find the part in the book where Balrogs can be cute and friendly. Dum, 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 dum. Balrogs could be a creepside pet. Yeah, theoretically. Although, I still think the idea of a tiny Balrog seems unlikely, but maybe. Alas, this is sorrowful and dreadful news you bring, Dwinstrel. I now understand how Lairden was broken. The evils of Angmar are truly great if they could turn a father's love for his daughter into a terrible weapon. As forebodes a greater evil still.
Hedderb has a great idea. Creep should get Darkling pets. I like Darklings.
Yeah, that is kind of a neat idea. I don't know, though. People are like concerned enough about performance in PvMP. I just don't really see them doing that. All right, so we have kind of have another session play here, but I will pass that off for 2 weeks from now. Let me double check quick our chat, see if there's anything else I can answer. So someone asked me what will happen next week. Druid's Fire, are you planning to stream next week at noon then?
I was planning to stream.
Okay. Was I a politician in my previous life? No. I was a reporter, but not a politician. Oh, man, there's a question on Facebook that just scrolled off my screen. Sorry about that. All right, folks. I'm just going to wrap it up here then. Thank you so much for watching Court of the Rings on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I'll be back in, I guess about, what, an hour and a half here for day 5 of the Harnkegger Games. And I will be on again this weekend. Generally mid-afternoon. It's starting between usually about 2 to 3-ish is the Harnkegger Games. And I'll be on Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday is the final day of the event as well. So if you're interested, come check that out. And Druid's Fire, what's on your agenda today?
Well, you're stealing my show, so I guess we're going to chat it up during my show.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I guess that's true. All right. So your answer is basically to have me kick you off your show and then bring you back on to talk about my show.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah.
All right.
I'll talk about the raid team that I'm building.
What? Streamers don't raid. Haven't you heard the forums?
I don't know. This is myth? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I will see you at 2:20 for the Harnkegger Games.
Yeah, absolutely, folks. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you live here on Friday in 2 weeks. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good weekend.